think Walter Smith will probably feel the worst of the two managers, because he'll be disappointed that Rangers haven't got their passing game together. It is a semi-final. Aberdeen have done their homework well. Their game plan is working very well. I think he'd just be content just to, to just feed on a few scraps and see things, because there has to be a winner tonight. There has to be a team that goes through. Obviously, there has to be a team that loses as well. But he'd be quite confident that over the 90 minutes or 120 minutes, if we go to extra time, then his team will have the strength and have the skill to go through.
Well, strength and stamina may well become a factor in these proceedings. Goal goes to Rangers. Going into these late stages of the first half, when first blood could be so important. Here's Salenko. Turns so well to both sides. Showing his two-footedness there. Jury beaten well inside the area by Brian Grant. This is Wright. Goalkeeper's ball, and Michael Watt obliges. 2 shutouts in his previous 7 matches.
It's a good ball whipped in here by Stephen Wright to the far post. As the collision goes, Ali McCoy goes down in the box there, and then Michael Watt comes out and leads over. It's like a wide receiver for Dallas Cowboys.
Misunderstanding there, Salenko with McCoist. Lots of talking on in the pitch there. Both sets of players to try to manoeuvre and adjust to take some advantage. John Brown's header. This is Jess. Faced by McLaren. On the far side is McKimmie. Cleland comes to meet him. This is Glass. Now McKimmie. Stephen Wright did well. There wasn't the clear on the right though. Chance to take him on. It's well whipped across. A very good ball. Goal on a full stretch. Well, in a battle there on the far side with Stephen Glass, who in Aberdeen get the throw. Andy Gorham really was struggling.
A great ball in by Joe Miller to the far post. Andy Gorham was struggling here with Craig Moore, and we're not too sure who got the punch, whether it was Craig Moore or whether it was Andy Gorham, but it was good to say from a Rangers point of view, they did clear the danger.
And Paul Gascoigne going in very heavily on Stephen Glass. So he really is fired up for this. He has to live very dangerously now with that booking early in the match. Now Jess. It's not a good cross, but too high for Joe Miller. The wrong man for Aberdeen in that position. Joe Miller unlikely to hit too many goals. He has been known to do that though. But Gascoigne really is on the knife edge.
Yeah, he does, like I say, live on a bit of a knife edge. The ball up in the air here, he just a wild slash there, and Stephen Glass ends up on the sidelines. But he likes to play right at the height of controversy and at a level really where other players wouldn't even dream about playing. But we'll have to see if he can settle down and get hold of the ball, which really is his fundamental job.
Gary Smith's pass, it's cut off by Moore. Dodds has a chance here to find Booth on the left. And the ball gathering pace, wind assisted towards that corner. Scott Bush shakes his head there. He was unlucky.
Yeah, we've seen players make mistakes. The ball actually went to Craig Moore. He's been back control. He's done it on a couple of occasions. It resulted in a bit of a half challenge for Aberdeen to get through. But as we can see from the wind and the players' hairs, the ball is travelling a long way with the wind. The pitch is skiddy and everything else. And we might see a few more mistakes in the penalty areas.
Stuart McKimmie's header. There's Booth with Moore. Ball controlled by McKimmie's chest. Here's Joe Miller. Beaten by Jury. Stephen Wright's pass. Miller getting a little bit overwrought there. Free kick taken quickly and carelessly. Chance for a break on here with Dodds. Pass came from Stephen Glass. Well, a quick free kick was certainly appropriate, but had to be accurate. Here's Gascoigne. Good running on the far side by Cleland. He's very quick indeed, but so too is Stephen Glass, matching him going back. Cleland's cross. There's Jury. And John Ingles protecting Michael Watt there, making sure that McCoy's could do no damage from Jury's header.
There's good play by John Ingles. Good ball by Alec Cleland to the far post. Good header by Gordon Jury up in the air. And then John Ingles does what every good centre-half would do, protect his goalkeeper by blocking Ali McCoy's run. So John Brown's header.
This is Ingles. Stephen Glass has done well. He's away from Cleland. And John Brown again, very sure-footed in the middle there. A stronger left foot, turning the ball away and organising all the time. So had a minute to stoppage time. It can't be a great deal more, I would suspect. Maybe the last attack of the match, this for Aberdeen. Stuart McKimmie taking this. Brown and Dodge in a tangle. And the referee resolves that by blowing the half-time whistle. So that enabled him not to make a decision on that particular challenge. Well, a fascinating first half, tense and fraught all the way, with Paul Gascoigne involved in so much of the controversy. He's been booked already, so he is to live on a knife edge for the rest of the game. Ian Jess trying all he knows to create for Aberdeen from midfield. Aberdeen settling well as the first half wore on, but they weren't able to find a way towards Andy Gorham. So the half-time score at Hampden, Rangers 0, Aberdeen 0.
So there's plenty of other football being played tonight. In England, Coca-Cola Cup ties, latest scores these. Barnsley 0, Arsenal 2 now, Bolton Bergkamp for Arsenal. Birmingham 1, Tranmere 0. John McGrill, own goal inside 2 minutes. Bolton 0, Leicester 0. Reading 0, Bury 2, that's something of a surprise. A real shocker for Blackburn, though, trailing at Watford by a 1-0. Kevin Phillips, the goal scorer there. Nigel Spackman and Charlie Nicholas are with us this evening. What do we make of it so far, Nigel?
Very tight game at the moment. I think Rangers started off very brightly, and then Aberdeen had come back into it, had a couple of long-range shots, but it's been quite quiet.
Rangers could have been a goal up virtually from the kick-off, in fact. Had Ali McCoy's done a little better, but what a start that would have been.
Yeah. You'd expect Ali to get this on target at least.
There he is, picking it up and then heading goalwards. Space would worry Aberdeen, wouldn't it, that he had there, Charlie?
It certainly would. I think Ali's little fault there was his control just wasn't as good as what he would like it to be, and it's very unlike him not to hit the target.
Mind you can forgive him a little miscontrol inside 40 seconds.
Well, we're used to seeing him missing control in it right enough, but not in the first 40 seconds.
Now, what about two bookings? Bernard went into the book early for Aberdeen for a challenge on Gascoigne, I think exacting retribution for being nutmegged there.
Well, he's embarrassed.
But do you think that the word has gone out to wind him up a little bit?
Well, I'm sure it has, because to be perfectly honest, Gascoigne's gave a fair bit in return. He's just embarrassed the player there with a bit of skill, and I think he's actually teased him into the tackle and got him the yellow card.
And then went into the book himself. In a way, Nigel, that, I mean, there's the elbow there, look. Is it typical Gascoigne, that, and then a reaction on Dodds? And
I don't know, I think he's been winding them up early on in the game. I think Ian Jess and Bernard, he was winding them up, and maybe he could have got booked a little bit earlier as well, but I think that case there, I mean, the elbow's come up and the referee's standing right there. He's got no option but to book him.
Do you think he'll make the 90 minutes the way he's going on?
I hope so, but I think he's got to settle down. Now, as Terry Butcher said during the commentary, I think now he's got the booking, maybe it's settled him down a little bit, and hopefully he'll keep his head.
No goals as yet at Hampden Park. It does have to finish tonight. We'll have extra time if we can't separate them after 90 minutes. And if still we can't separate them, then there'll be penalties.
Thank you, Richard. Yes, the Rangers strikers waiting to restart the match. Referee Hugh Dallas is satisfied. And the match is underway, and it will be very interesting to see what alterations tactically emerge from the half-time discussions. Anything you anticipate, Terry?
Not really. I think both managers will be trying to get the team to get hold of the ball and make some passes, because any time they have made the passes, they've looked quite confident and not give the ball away, as Alexelenko did then. And the possession really has been given away too easy, as we see there. Already teams have given possession away about 3 or 4 times, and we've only been going about 30 seconds.
Here's Alec Dillon now. Craig Moore hurries to allow Gascoigne to become involved. Awkward there for Cleland. Here's Gascoigne. Getting some stick from the Aberdeen supporters. That's good defending by John Ingles. And that's one of the head back for a throw all in the corner.
Good play by Gascoigne, really just doing what he should do, sticking to crossing the ball like that, but a bit of a misheader, but it is windy, it is blustery, and he did the best thing, and a positive action. The ball goes for a corner, and Aberdeen can get their men back, get people marked up, and deal with the danger. So good play once again by John Ingles, getting in the way of Alex Sellington.
So Rangers have sent John Brown up as well as Alan McLaren and Goran Petric. Gascoigne's corner. And just ahead of John Brown by Stuart McKimmie. So the lines are cleared there by Stephen Glass for Aberdeen. Well, certain conditions have not been at all easy, either underfoot or overhead. Putting control to a premium. Very difficult in the semi-final to settle. Be prepared to make passes. John Brown running into trouble, having to make that tackle on Joe Miller. Well, that's determination all over his face.
That's pretty endemic, Jock, of the way Aberdeen have played. They've closed Rangers down very, very quickly, especially at the back.
Dolly Lodge playing that against Craig Moore and earning his reward there, which appears to be a corner kick. Aberdeen want to take a quick one. Only Gordon Jury goes across. It's only 1 against 2. Here's Joe Miller. Coyce makes a second player, and the offside flag is up. Scott Booth coming into the far post area. Still looking a little bit ragged, the whole build-up process for both sides. See the wind whipping through Scott Booth's hair there.
Well, once again, we have a second quality ball whipped in there by John Miller, and unfortunately for Scott Booth, the linesman flag was up straight away on the far side. Pretty good job for Scott Booth it was, because he actually missed the target with his shot. But really, we've had 2 good balls in, one from Gascoigne and one from Joe Miller, so we've got a much more positive start to this half.
Right side count not too dramatic there. Bernard and McLaren with McCoist in the middle of the field. Now the ball on the ground for Jess. The man I think Aberdeen would most like to see in possession in this area. Bernard to McKimmie. Ahead is Miller. Well tackled by Cleland. Well, Joe Miller's got a problem with it because Alec Cleland on one flank and Stephen Wright on the other side are both very quick players indeed. He can't expect to outpace them. Here's Gary Smith. Not a bad ball that, over the head of Goran Petric, but no Aberdeen player able to take advantage of that.
It's got to be the right ball into the striker's feet, especially with 3 very composed and strong Rangers defenders there. Any ball that owns the striker's feet, Booth and Dodge's feet, will cause panic for the 3 defenders. But it's got to be right. And under these conditions, it's difficult to get the ball on the ground, a quality pass into your strikers.
John Brown, can he escort that back? Cross on the far side. And Stephen Wright in space. The offside flag up as Selenko came back there from an offside position. 26 years old tomorrow, like Selenko. Chase here for Booth, but the ball again gathering pace. He's working very hard indeed to get it across goal. He's done well. Came off Moore in the end. That's a corner kick. Well, Scott Booth showing amazing pace to get to that. Craig Moore took a blow in the left eye as he cleared that up.
Great pace by Scott Booth down the left-hand side, outpacing Gordon Petric. Good cross to the far post there. Obviously, Craig Moore just looking over his shoulder. Joe Miller coming in. Good ricochet there. The ball ended up off Craig Moore's eye, I think it was, his left eye, for a corner, but an important block by Craig Moore.
John Brown attacked there for that corner by John Ingles. Still wasn't put off. Such a tough, resilient character.
He was literally attacked there on the near post, wasn't he? And John Ingles coming in and John Brown bravely going down with his head. John Brown's the sort of player that will do that. He'll fight for the cause and he'll get his head in amongst the studs and just to clear the danger and at the other end as well to score important goals.
There's Paul Bernard, tackled by McLaren. Really well forward. It's turned back there by Grant to Watt. This is Jess. Trying to create for Aberdeen. Having to drop deeper and deeper to do that. Here's McKimmie. Ahead is Miller through the middle. Scott Booth beaten to that by Brown. Good play by McLaren. Here's Gascoigne. Selenko Salenko helping it on from McCoist. Good return pass. Salenko holds it up, checks inside, looks for support. Going away from Gary Smith, who did well to stick to him. Chance there for Jess to come forward. Likes to run defences like this. Gascoigne trying to match it. That's the pass to Dodds. Still Billy Dodds. He scored! It's a brilliant goal by Dodds. His first glimpse of goal in the match. Aberdeen take the lead. Great play by Jess and then by Dodds.
Well, this is a great run by Ian Jess here, on over the halfway line. Paul Gascoigne doesn't know whether to go to him or stay wide. Now he has to go to him. Sees Billy Dodds. Good control with the Dodds. Lets it go. Good ricochet here. Lucky ricochet, but the ball's there. I thought Andy Gorham would possibly just spread his body a bit more, but Billy Dodds proved he's so sharp. You see the reaction, the reflexes here. Here he comes in, his left foot. One quick look, and it's bang in the back of the net there before Andy Gorham can even spread his body across the goal. Great goal by Billy Dodds.
So Billy Dodds' 5th goal of the season puts Aberdeen ahead, but now they have to defend. It's Gordon Jury going to equalise that. Blocked by Ingles. Salenko looked for a short pass inside. Jury trying to urge his team on. Well, the score now. Aberdeen leading by a goal to nil. And a splendid goal of that coming after 51 minutes of the match. Michael Watt into that. Got a good catch on the pressure from McCoist. Well, now, tactical decision to be taken by Aberdeen, Terry. Do they try to tighten up at the back or do they look for more?
Well, the team is this cross was well taken by Muggle. It's good for your team, good for your back four, especially when your goalkeeper can take a ball like that under good severe pressure by him, of course. But a team that does score a goal are at their most vulnerable just after they put the ball in the back of the opponent's net. So, Roy can be telling his players to be tight now, get the ball out of that Aberdeen back four, just really keep, as they have been doing, and pressing Rangers into making mistakes like we see from Andy Gorham putting the ball out under no pressure.
Well, it's a time when Aberdeen will require all the experience of men like Stuart McKimmie taking that throw, the captain. Settling the lead. The tackle came from Gascoigne. Here's Dodds again, lifted no doubt by that goal. Misunderstanding with Joe Miller. Well, Rangers have options of all kinds. Among the 11 players on the field, they have so many possibilities of changing the pattern of play. They then have Ian Durant, Alexei Mikhailichenko and Neil Murray on the bench. No goalkeeper, interestingly enough, for a match which could go to extra time, Terry.
No, especially if Andy Gorham does get a knock, then they've got to put one of the outfield players in. But at the moment, I think that thought would be the furthest from Morley Smith's mind. He'll just be concerned with his team trying to get back on level terms.
Here's Jess again, controlling things in midfield. McKimmie trying to keep it calm, retaining possession. Glass to McKimmie. This is intelligent play from Aberdeen. Call on the far side came from Brian Grant. Now Bernard. Jess has made a run through the inside right channel. He's gone offside. Bernard holds the play up intelligently. Here's Glass. Not a bad effort by Stephen Glass. He has a very good left foot. A lot of passes put together there. Aberdeen growing in confidence.
Well, they are supremely confident now after that goal, but Stephen Glass confident there to take the ball on his left foot and try and whip a shot past Andy Gorham. But they made about 10 or 12 passes from the left-hand side all the way across to the right-hand side. They're the team that looks to be the most comfortable.
Ingles with Salenko. And a free kick given against Oleg Salenko. A bit of holding there on Ingles. Ingles clearly was outpacing him there. That was the problem for the Rangers striker.
I think he just got the wrong side here. As you can see, the ball's alongside, but John Ingles does well, holds him off, and then Oleg Salenko just pulls him down. So you can see there, a bit of a touch-and-go decision. I think the referee was right. From this angle, it's a lot better. You can see his arm pulling down John Ingles, and the referee, only about 10 yards away, was right on the spot and made the correct decision.
So Walter Smith now down on the trackside from the director's box, discussing with Archie Knox a possible change. Jury. Forward is Salenko. Joe Miller doing a good backtracking job on Clellan. Jess to Dodds. Here's Miller on the left now. Away from Clellan, perhaps fortunately for Clellan, that is. Now Dodds. There's Glass outside him. He's the target. Couldn't make contact with the ball as Craig Moore made his challenge. Stephen Glass, the youngest player in the field, 19.5 years old, a little bit younger than Craig Moore of Rangers. There's Joe Miller. Very happy to keep the ball in the corner flag area, but it's a goal kick, and Joe Miller is not happy about that. The facial expression, and any lip reader would tell you he wasn't impressed with that decision.
Is that one of your expressions, I think, Joe?
Well, let's have a look at this goal again, the one scored by Billy Dodds, which separates the sides.
Ian Jess's great run, good ball inside, slight miscontrol from Billy Dodds, gets the lucky ricochet there. Andy Gorham can't get down on the ground, and it seems to be through Andy Gorham's legs or to the side of it, in the back of the net.
I wonder if Andy Gorham regrets making a run from his goal line with the angle closing so rapidly for Dodds. Jess plays it long, looking for Dodds again, it's just out of reach. He was being policed this time by Alan McLaren. But Ian Jess has done very well indeed for Aberdeen in circumstances where he's been really marred by Alan McLaren for much of the time, but he's found space.
Yeah, but Alan McLaren's gone to try and win the ball. I think when you do go a goal down, you try and win the game and get the ball back as quick as you can. You look a bit ragged, you haven't got the discipline, you haven't got the shape of the team and everything else. So you can end up making bad decisions and losing your shape completely, which is the wrong sort of thing. But Aberdeen have got their shape now. They're passing the ball, they're closing down ranges all the time, and as we can see, they're winning the ball back quite comfortably.
And they've moved John Brown into midfield. Alan McLaren's dropped back into central defence. Misunderstanding there between Miller and Booth. Interesting change that, Terry.
Well, they haven't got anything going, Rangers at the moment. They haven't got any passing from the back. John Brown did well in midfield when he came on in 2-1 against Juventus, but they just want somebody in there to get hold of the ball and to try and get a bit of pattern going. They haven't got any pattern at all in this game so far, and Aberdeen's game plan is winning hands down.
Kimmy back to Gary Smith. This is Glass. Over to the far side it goes to Dodds. See the ball swirling in the wind there. That made it difficult.
But Aberdeen are trying to force Rangers back on both flanks, giving the ball up to the strikers, testing out this Rangers back four now. I think they've basically gone to a back four.
Good ball there from Brown, but overshooting Gordon Jury. It's a very difficult task this evening to play long passes which don't get caught by the wind and skid off the wet surface.
Well, that's a tendency when you do go a goal down, is to really hit the killer balls, hit the long passes, and any balls like that going through will be food and drink to Michael Watt.
Dodds did well. Booth won't reach that. The offside flag was up in any event against Scott Booth. Brown has to play it back here to McLaren. Good pass to Cleland. Inside is Brown. Cleland again. Under pressure from Glass. Back with Moore. He may have to play it all the way back to Gorham. That's good pressing play by Aberdeen.
Excellent play by Aberdeen, as you can see. Forces a mistake from Andy Gorham.
There's Joe Miller. Booth is outside him. And Miller again trying a chip shot there, I think. Andy Gorham not happy with himself.
Well, really, Wayne Walker-Smith on the sideline should be just trying to get his team to just calm down a little bit, just relax a little bit, just take it easy, just get some passing down. There's plenty of time to get back in the game. You've got probably half an hour to get back into the match. Don't lose your heads, don't lose your shape. Just be patient and get your football going, because really Rangers haven't played that much football in the match, so they do a spell.
They're trying to change that now. Ian Durant is preparing to come on down below us. Gascoigne retrieves it. He's had a very quiet second half so far. Hasn't been involved for some time. He's brought down there, tackled by Bernard. The free kick's been given. Gascoigne again has a few words to say to the referee. Free kick's taken quickly. There's John Brown trying to look for Jury through the middle. The clearance from Smith reaches Dodds. There's space for Miller to exploit on the left. Here's Booth through the middle. Back it comes now to Stuart McKimmie. Booth is offside. Glass wouldn't have been offside had he been the player chasing that ball. Scott Booth made the diagonal run a shade too early. Now the change will be made by Rangers.
Just see him just offside there, running Alan McLaren did well to step up and everything else, but I mean, Joe Miller, it's great from Aberdeen point of view when Joe Miller gets the ball, because he can carry the ball fully 30 or 40 yards and hold off a challenge, can use the ball well, and it's great when you're under a bit of pressure as Aberdeen are at the moment. Rangers pumping long balls into the box and trying to get Solenko and McCoy's working up front. But it's good that Joe Miller can pick the ball up and just run at the Ranger defence, relieving a bit of pressure.
Ian Durant is on the right-hand side of the midfield. Solenko challenging. Grant under pressure there from Jury, did just enough. He got to the ball. That is the vital part. Jury offers no claim for a foul. Correctly. So a corner kick. Count being won by Rangers. Durant lights that in. Ward has missed it. Big save by his defence. Hasn't looked too secure with these balls all night. Now Cleland. Firing it again, John Brown controlling it, tackled well at the edge of the area by Ingles. Gascoigne retrieving, pressurised by Dodds. Petrich. Durant has Stephen Wright breaking on the right. He takes it from Solenko. Solenko again. Well, he did well to make room for himself. A shot with no real venom in it. Well, Michael Watt lucky to survive this last corner kick.
Yes, one of those swirling balls comes in the box. I thought he was going to punch it, tried to punch it, in fact missed it, did a Superman and missed the ball, and Alex Solenko can't quite get it. But
so Watt will be relieved. He survived the treacherous night for goalkeepers. And almost ran for Scott Booth going through the middle. Well, there's uncertainty right throughout this Rangers team tonight in all departments, Terry.
Well, a bit uncertain, then the actual flight of the ball is difficult to pick up in these conditions, but having said that, somebody should be able to get on the end of one and just clear the danger.
There's Gary Smith for Aberdeen, and picking the passes much better than Rangers at this stage in the match.